Hello, and welcome back to another episode of They Don't Teach This in Law School. I'm Bryan Austin of Kraken Creative and law firm Alchemy, filling in for Charlie Mann. Now, alchemists, if you had 15 seconds to capture an audience, tell them what you're about, hook them in, secure your leads, reach referrals, how would that alter your approach? How would you specify your language? How would you convey your values? How would you distill everything you are into one concentrated parcel that could hook someone's short attention span? That's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. We're leaning into short form video content and making sure that by the end of this episode, if you've been reluctant to get your face out there, you're going to have all of the tools and strategies to start making those strides to get both omnipresent and visible to the people who need your help. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. It would mean a lot to us if you hit that subscribe button and left us a review to make sure we get into the ears of as many people as possible. So let's get started. One thing they don't teach in law school, and it's pretty far reaching throughout industries, is how to make yourself visible online, how to make yourself a brand online. Now, I have to be honest with you about something. Over the past few days, I've spent way too much time on my phone, just scrolling through videos. And as much as we hate doom scrolling, it's a fundamental part of how we consume content, make purchases, find new things. We bond with people by sending memes, sending reels. It's a huge part of who we are. So figuring out how to leverage that and capitalize on that for something like your law firm is a vital tool for reaching new clients. The reality is, if you're not showing up in video in 2025, you're more or less invisible. I know that sounds a little dramatic, but let's be honest. The attention game's changed, and it's not changing back anytime soon. We live in an era where people don't just want to see your face, they expect it. Content does better when there's a face to put to the camera, when there is human to human interaction. And if you think all of that stuff's just for Gen Z doing dances on TikTok, I have news for you. Your ideal clients, yes, the ones who can afford your services, they're consuming and connecting to their world through short form content every single day. The firms they remember are the ones they've already met through their phone screens. So today we're going to talk about the two forms of marketing content that have gone from nice to have to non-negotiables when it comes to getting your brand out there. Now that first is going to be short form content, your reels, your posts, the various things that feed the algorithm machine and get your message and your mission out into the hands of the people who are ultimately going to come to you. The second thing is going to be omnipresence. It's being consistent across every platform and touch point. Now, I know a lot of people are resistant to getting active on social media. So before you roll your eyes, before you skip this episode, take a pause, take a breath. I want to reiterate that I'm going to make this really, really easy for you. I can guarantee if you follow the simple steps I'm going to lay out, you're not going to be spending 8 hours a day trying to manage your social media. That's not what this is about. It's truly not. I'm going to show you how to do this in a way that is practical, sustainable, and if you let yourself and give yourself a little permission, actually enjoyable and pretty fun. Now, if you want more evidence, I'm going to lay out some stats for you. Short form video is now the most consumed content on the internet. According to multiple studies, 84% of people say they've been convinced to buy a product or service because they encountered it in a brand's video through social media. And most importantly, people need to hear a message up to 7 times before they commit to buy or to act. Now, the problem with that is if in those 7 touch points, your messaging is inconsistent, if it has a different tone, a different message, or a different promise, you're not building trust. You're building confusion instead. Confusion kills conversions. So that's why omnipresence really matters. It's about alignment, not getting overwhelmed. It's about making sure your voice, your message, and your story are the same, whether someone finds you on Instagram, LinkedIn, Google, email, your newsletter, however they're reaching you, you want to feel like they're reaching the same person. So before coming on to law firm Alchemy and Kraken Creative, I dabbled pretty consistently in social media. Before I ever put my face on camera, I was doing history posts, writing up various articles to share on Instagram. But once I got my face out there, The reach and consistency with which I built a brand increased exponentially. Here's the thing about video, of talking to somebody face to face like we're doing now virtually. It builds what's called parasocial trust. That means that a person can feel like they know you before you've ever spoken to them in real life. It means you lead someone to feel like they know you before they ever meet you in person, because they've engaged with you virtually. They've heard your messaging. They believe what you say. They have some degree of confidence in you. So extending your reach on social media can end up doing a considerable amount of work for you as a law firm owner. People who walk through your door, you've already sold them on who you are. So you skip several steps in the process. It ends up being really advantageous. And doesn't everyone want the people coming through their door to be a little bit friendlier, a little bit more engaged, a little less of a difficult sell? Now think about it. And we've all had the experience where a podcaster or a YouTuber feels like an old friend. You can probably name 3 or 4 people off the top of your head who comes to mind. It's more than fandom. It's a virtual friendship, even if you've never had that kind of reaction with a person. As a law firm owner, you have the opportunity to build that with future clients, reach people, and increase your impact as well as your client base. For law firms, this is a massive, massive advantage. There are a lot of law firms out there that are still hiding behind the text-heavy website, a few static points. You have the opportunity to get a step ahead as a real human being. So I'm going to show you how to start. When you're looking at creating content, there are a few good rules to follow. The first thing is to keep it under 60 seconds. When I was beginning to create video content, my rule was if I could lean into 15 seconds, that was even better. Getting people to watch your videos all the way through helps you in the midst of the algorithm. Now, it's hard to make any kind of point in 15 seconds, but keeping it in that 15 to 60 second window is going to set you up for success. You have certain platforms like YouTube whose shorts have to be under 60 seconds. So aiming for that is a really good practice. And it's a great opportunity to clarify your language, get really specific with your messaging. And it's a lot easier than you might think. And the next step is just to use your phone. Don't worry about fancy gear. Don't worry about microphones. People want authenticity. They want to feel like they're talking to a friend. So it's one of those avenues where less is kind of more. And leading into that, the next step is talk to the person like you were talking to a friend. Keep it casual. Don't worry about proving your smarts as a lawyer. Just meet people where they are. And you'll find that you connect to people a lot faster. They appreciate what you say, and that authenticity leads to more connection. Now, some easy example prompts as you're looking at developing content are like 3 things you need to know before you sign a custody agreement, why we say no to some cases and how that protects our clients, 1 thing you should never do if you've been in a car accident, things like that. You don't have to worry about being an actor or being a performer. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. So I said this word several times, like omnipresence. What does that mean? It can come with this context that you need to oversaturate the social media mythos with your presence. I got to bust a myth on this. Omnipresence doesn't mean posting everywhere every day. It just means your message is consistent everywhere that it appears. Omnipresence isn't about oversaturation of a message. It's about aligning your message across the various platforms. It's quality versus quantity. If your website says compassionate, client-first representation, but your social media posts are all about winning cases without showing the human side, there's going to be a disconnect. So you want to make sure in the midst of your branding, everything you're doing is a demonstration of what you want to show the world. So a good formula for omnipresence, to return back to that content piece, is once you have that 60-second video, you post it to your Instagram Reels, you post it to YouTube Shorts, you share it on LinkedIn with a short written story, embed it in an email to your list with a personal reflection, transcribe it for a blog post on your site. That's only one piece of content that you've made, one 60-second video that you suddenly can engage across your platforms in different ways. If you have a weekly newsletter provided by Red Kraken Creative, that's a little plug for Red Kraken Creative. It's a great thing for your email writers to talk about and expand on and provide greater insights and detail. Suddenly, that one piece of content leads to omnipresence and quality because it's causing cohesion in your messaging. There's a synergy in how you're approaching it. Does that make sense? You create this illusion of being everywhere without actually having to do that much work. Again, you made a 60-second video and suddenly you have a week's worth of content across various platforms to talk about that 60-second video. Whatever platform you engage with, you're going to see people trying to shock, people trying to enrage. You're going to see people trying to do the silliest thing all for the sake of views. And so when you get into the social media game, or you get really fixed on trying to build a brand, it can become about the views, the reach. You want what you do to go viral. I've fallen into that trap too, where you start counting the views, hoping that you can reach the next 10,000 or the next 1 million. And the truth is, when you get into this content game, this is a big thing to learn, is that going viral doesn't matter. It's great when it happens. It feels fun. You get your 5 seconds of fame, but it's not about going viral. It's about being reliable. It's about being constant. It's about being consistent. Because again, all of those new followers that you're going to get from your big wins, they're going to expect more of the same. They're going to want more from you. They're going to want to get to know you more. So it's about showing up in that way. It's about being consistent. Too many law firms post a few videos, don't see results, and quit. The ones who are winning right now, the ones who are dominating the digital marketplace, they're showing up consistently week after week. They're not focused on making the next big thing every time. They're just working on making strides every week. And over time, those strides compound. You build an audience. You build a massive network of people. So alchemists, if you're looking to go from 0 to 60 on your content creation, here's an easy formula that you can follow. Pick 1 day a month. Schedule 1 day a month, just 1 day. Your goal? To record 4 short videos. Then, once per week, you're going to release those videos across your platforms. You're going to share them on Instagram. You're going to share them on LinkedIn. You're going to embed them in your emails. You're going to write your messaging around this specific video. You're going to do this plan for 90 days. By 90 days, it's going to be second nature. Don't be surprised if those 4 videos a month become 8 videos, 12 videos, if you start posting weekly. If you're anything like me, the experience you're going to have is this is a really fun way to engage with people. And I'm getting a lot of leads, a lot of questions, a lot of traction. 90 days to build that habit of creating content and getting yourself out there. Remember, the goal isn't for one video to blow up. The goal is for potential clients to see you often enough that you are the first name that comes to mind when they need a problem solved. And if all of this seems really scary, if you're like, this isn't for me, this isn't for my firm, this isn't really what I do, I don't know if I can do this. If you're feeling that resistance that comes from imposter syndrome or just not wanting to buy into it, here are some possible objections and some things that could possibly reframe them into something that feels a little safer or a little better. What if you say something like, I don't want to be on camera? I'm going to remind you that you don't need to be an entertainer. You just need to be human. You're already human for all of your clients. It doesn't make a huge difference if there's a camera in front of you. Remember, speak like you're talking to a friend. What if you say, I don't have time? You can film a month of content in just 2 hours. The return on investment beats almost every other marketing activity you could do in that time. What if you say, what if I mess it up? That's called being relatable. Everybody messes up. And there's a reason why we like blooper reels in movies. You don't have to be perfect. See? You don't have to be perfect. You can stumble over your words. That adds to your authenticity. And in 2025, authenticity wins over polish every time. So, my friends, here's the challenge for you. Post 4 short videos this month. That's it. 1 video per week. Then make sure your website, your social, your email, they all match that tone and message. You'll instantly be more consistent, more visible, and you'll build trust. In 2025, you don't need to be famous. You just need to be findable, familiar, and trusted. So let this advice on content empower you to carry your voice. Let consistency carry your brand. And watch what happens when you finally start showing up where your clients already are. They're waiting for you. So thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next episode of They Don't Teach This in Law School.